hands up. How many AI tools did you test this year? And how many are you still using today? Sales automation, AI-generated emails, note takers. The list is endless. And honestly, 90% of it is hype with no impact. My first episode with Theresa Engl and Lars Thalmann, we talked about their growth journey at Holy Code to more than 150 enterprise clients. Today, we go deeper. Which AI tools actually worked in 2025? And what's coming up in 2026? Theresa shows how ReadAI doesn't just transcribe calls, also catches buying signals in tech implementation meetings that sales can jump on. Lars explains why mass outreach died already in 2024 and how AI personalized outbound replaced it. And they share their prediction. AI agent, not just tools, full agents handling account research, outreach, and expansion. Without any further ado, let's go with Theresa Engl, Lars Thalmann, and me, Björn Schäfer. So another warm welcome to Theresa and Lars for the second time.
Hi Björn, good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
So there was a very kind offer to dig deeper into tech stack and some of the tools you used in the past. But then we said, okay, let's make it even bigger, this episode. So to check in what is already working with AI this year and what is the outlook, what will even work better next year. So happy to dive into some prospecting and pipeline generation, best practice ideas, tips and tricks. And as you mentioned, Lars, we also will cover expansion. So where do we start? Let's start with the status quo. What did you learn in 2025? And Theresa and Lars, the floor is yours, I would say.
All right, who wants to start?
Yeah, maybe I can start with one sentence because I think that's really important because there is so much noise on the market with AI. So the goal is a bit like no hype, no noise, really clear understanding what AI and which automation really can help in sales so that you are not getting overwhelmed. And how we achieved that so far. So in the last session, we talked a bit about how we started this whole collaboration, also going out from this silo perspective of having growth marketing sales and getting together and really combine and becoming a dream team with that success, also reducing this whole manual work that sales is normally involved with to really shift to intelligent workflows with the help of AI. I think that's a bit the goal of today's podcast. Lars.
Nice. But then I would say, because it's so tempting, and Lars, please bear with me. So Then let's dive already into this juicy one. So because I know, and some of the listeners potentially have heard the first episode. So in a crisp nutshell, so what already did work well or is working well as of now?
Mm-hmm. So I think normally I already start with the focus. Where do I want to go, right? And I think if we look at sales in general, the goal is to move towards more a consultative, really value-first sales approach to compare to these mass outreaches where you just kick a lot of balls and maybe someone will hit the goal. And there, for example, I think the first AI tool that I implemented when I started was Notetaker. I think nowadays everyone uses them so far. Although I'm often surprised if someone says, okay, who is that in the call? But I think in general, a lot of people heard about it, right? So it's acting like an automated co-pilot. And I think at the first step, it was like, of course, recording your call. Then it's easy afterwards to summarize everything. That's it, right? So the effort that you put in manually reduced immensely after that. But since that, a lot of features were implemented. So for example, the note taker on our side is connected with our CRM system. So we can see exactly which meetings connected with the contact person. We can read out, okay, who is reflect as like potential client in the future besides stocks, also as a coaching tool towards new salespeople. What can you improve to really have qualified calls overall the whole company, right? So that, the quality is not like, changing when new people are coming to the company. So that's really a tool what helps a lot to increase on that side.
What is sorry to interrupt, what's the tool you are using right now?
So we are using ReadAI. It's maybe not the cheapest one on the market, but GDPR compliant, all the regulation that are important for us. And I think for me, always when choosing a tool, of course, you don't always know before, is how much they invest also in becoming better in new features. That's all about, right? Because the market is changing so much. So that's how I choose our tool stack.
Okay, just a nerdy question on this, and then we'll tackle another use case or jobs to be done. So the note taker is then synced to HubSpot, I think, in your case. Is it also synced in kind of your sales methodology, like Spice, Medic, whatsoever? So how deep is the basically the connection between the transcript and the CRM?
So on one side, you can enrich the tool also with the band criteria for us, for example.
Using Band in 2025.
I know, but it helps a lot on our side. So, and it's so clear and straightforward, right? And everyone understands. So I'm still a fan. So it's on one side the budget, authority, time, and also the need, and time on it. But I think what is really cool is that, for example, if you do then afterwards a discovery also with the client, maybe you had 2-3 meetings, you can summarize everything, create out of that then the offer, and it's really personalized. What took you before a lot of time, also on that side, like through the whole life cycle, sales life cycle, it's helping you a lot.
All right, totally get that. And yeah, I think I've done some episodes on it. And the other perk I really like about the transcripts, using it a lot for analyzing calls and see all the pieces, how they fit together, is kind of that you have more and more objective data. So you have the personal opinion of any sales rep. Yeah, this call went nice, or yeah, I had a really great relationship and this is a safe deal. So I think you have an entirely different level of analysis due to call analysis.
And maybe one thing to add that I didn't told you yet is because afterwards we use also the tool within our tech teams. So when they are doing then the whole implementation, the client side, and often you have then within the calls
nice
buying signals, right? And often maybe your software developer doesn't realize because it's not his job or her job, right? But then we get the notification, okay, maybe we need to look also in these other topics that the client is interesting. So sales can again jump on it.
Oh, this is really nice. Okay, cool. So it's a strong bonus. All right, Lars, what is one of your favorite jobs to be done supported by AI?
I mean, since my focus is on go-to-market and growth, I think the whole outbound engine optimization and automation, I see that as the biggest impact that you can have on any kind of venture that wants to scale. And I also find it interesting that Theresa mentioned here the mass outreaches. I think we all remember them because it was still like 2024, that was still best practice, right? That you would set up mass outreaches, just like changing the name of the person, changing the name of the company, and then you send this to hundreds of people, and it would be also quite annoying for the receiver. And what has really changed here, right? That towards the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, more possibilities popped up to have this actually replaced with tailored, individualized AI-written outreach, which is actually much nicer for the recipient to receive, right? And what I have also observed throughout 2025 is that many customers, since we talk about outbound engine, the main focus is always like, how can I penetrate the market? How can I win hot leads that my salespeople can convert, right? And what has definitely changed in 2025 is that with the same tech stack, you can as well follow up on SQLs or on opportunities that you have disqualified earlier, because one big pain point for every startup is not to reach the client, not to get the interest, but to do that in the right moment, in the short window of opportunity where that client, or not client, but where the lead is actually ready to become your client. And then on top of that, same for upselling, right? You want to track your existing clients to know what they're up to, and if anything moves, if they send any signal that would be a buying intent signal for you to do upselling, you want to know about it. So definitely use your tech stack for all of those use cases. Don't focus too much only on the outreach side.
Super interesting. Let's dive into more details, because I I follow that kind of LinkedIn bubble where everyone is telling, you don't have to touch anything and Clay's doing the magic. And I have seen very rare cases where signal-based is really actually working, fully automated. So walk us through what are the learnings, what is already working or what is actually working?
Yeah. So there are two answers to that. Because first thing I want to say, it's funny that you mentioned Clay. It's really insane the amount of attention Clay gets in the LinkedIn startup bubble. And there are other tools that are, depending on where you are in the startup stage, much more efficient. So I partner up with Ample Market because it's cheaper and it's more like all-in-one solution, more out of the box. That also means you have less maintenance costs and you have less costs to set it up. However, of course, Clay, and that's what you said, right? Clay is a lot of work and it never just works like people say it works. There's a lot of work you need to put into it and you need to like ongoingly troubleshoot, which I think is like the good thing about Clay. You can build everything, but you have to build everything. And a lot of things can go wrong. It's like ongoing effort. While that's why I think for early stage startups, Ample Market is the right tool, because there you have way more out of the box and you have a support team that you can reach out to, and like in the background, they keep adding new features and new signals. So there's more promise that it works and less risk on your side to have like a wrong setup. But now to the second part of the answer, like, yeah, of course, doesn't matter which tech stack you use. There are signals that sound promising and then they don't work at all. And then there are signals that work very well. And what I have observed here, what really works is job changes. So if your target persona changes job, I think that's like old knowledge. That's a perfect moment, because then you're very open to check for new possibilities, new tools, and you want to have an impact, right, in your new workplace. So you are very open to partner up with someone and say like, hey, let's do things differently now with this partner and that one. That also kind of takes away pressure from you to have to deliver everything by yourself. So that's one that works. And then also you can filter for keywords on LinkedIn. If you mention certain keywords, engage with posts, or even like G2 reviews of competitors, even that you can do. But here, of course, it also depends on how aggressive your strategy is. And I think in the end, you really need to test it, because once you have the tech stack, you can set up all those signals. So I would rather set up too many and then see which ones work. And the ones that don't work, it's okay. You don't send anything out if there's no signal coming in, right?
Walk us through the details about the existing customer base, because I think this is even more important to what are kind of signals are working or did work in the past for you to actually boost expansion or basically build up a pipeline for expansion deals or opportunities.
Yeah, so the same signals that you can use to reach out to the market, of course, you can also use to track your clients. And I mean, we've worked together in the nearshore business. So there, of course, the signal that you're looking for for new talents, if they have job applications, or especially if they have international job applications, like jobs that they're looking for talents. I mean, that's super valuable, right? In that moment, you know exactly, hey, they look for more talents. Let's get in touch with them. Let's talk about it. Let's ask them like, hey, what are you exactly looking for? What's the job to be done? How can we support you, since we're already having a partnership, right? And it's easier for you to upsell than to win new clients. It's also easier for an existing client who knows that you're his trusted partner to do whatever he can do with you, rather than getting more and more partners on board and have a salary here and the cash flow there. But often they just simply don't know how many possibilities, how many solutions they can get from the same partner. And of course, you want to change that, communicate that very well.
Maybe I can add also something to that, if you mind.
Please.
I think we use also a different approach towards our client, right? They are already in our CRM system. So often it's not then the classic email outreach, but the newsletter, for example. So where we inform them about new services that we added. And then we have often also specifically for our clients special discounts that we want to provide them. And based on that, you can then also see, okay, you, for example, tell them about our newest projects and they click on the report and find out, that's maybe interesting, and you can track that and call them and see, yeah, you looked at our report, maybe we should talk about it. So it's a bit a different approach.
Okay,
And
nice.
one
And you
thing-
did it with, sorry to interrupt, you did
Yeah.
it with, we're talking about the tech stack. So you did it with Ample Market, or is there another tool you involved, how you did it?
So this was Lars' topic, so he can explain.
Yeah, I just want to mention this. We use MailChimp, which is the same tool you would have used in 2024 for it.
Yeah.
And here it's very important about content creation. You don't want to just flood your blog and your LinkedIn or whatever with AI generated content because it's very flat and very visible, especially not newsletters. Because if you send out a newsletter, it's kind of an honor that you can steal your client's time and give them something to read. So use it well. Give them really something valuable. Also, tell them about your new services and offer them good discounts or general offers that catch your interest. So here we did use different AI tools, but not to create our content, but just to speed up the process. So one thing that you can do is if you have already content that's either as a video or as voice or written, you can use AI tools to then put it from one format into the other format. And this is like the keyword of, or like the magic keyword here is content upcycling. You don't need to create everything from scratch. What is important is that you have human touch in creating one type of content that's really valuable. So that's the way to go about that.
What's the recommended choices?
Yeah, one tool that our content marketer was using was Eddie, and that really helped to transcribe recorded podcasts and webinars. And then, as flat as it sounds, you use your favorite LLM to just help with the format and the tone of voice of your output. And honestly, for knowing the other tools, we would have to ask our marketing team, because that was very much about the content marketer and graphic designer working closely together.
All right, then let's sum it up with the most useful tools and then potential outlook for 2026. So you have kind of HubSpot as a CRM base. You have, we talked about Ample Market. We talked about MailChimp. We talked about ReadAI. Anything else which you implemented and can recommend in terms of supporting prospecting and sales efficiency or revenue efficiency?
Yeah, you can integrate Sift or Lead Feeder for scraping your own website to know who is actually checking you out. You can, of course, automate a lot with Zapier also in between Slack and HubSpot, Ample Market. So what is nice with Zapier, you make visible what usually would happen kind of secretly in the background of your CRM. What other tool can we recommend, Theresa?
I think that are the tools that we are really checking out and testing. But we have now also a new list with new tools that we are checking out. So it's not ready yet to really tell because it's in the testing phase. So as you can see, so much things are going on, and probably then a few months we can give you another hint.
Okay,
what we added.
It's a nice
yeah.
cliffhanger. So let's turn this into something active. So what are the key hypotheses where you believe that you will boost revenue efficiency even further with the tools and AI in the upcoming 6 months? So what kind of, in taking your current business, but also looking at the market perspective? I'm super intrigued what's your opinion about that is.
I think on one side, for sure, I mean, we have a client base of 150 plus clients, right? So there is a lot of knowledge, a lot of projects that we did with them or are doing with them. So definitely, for sure, there will be also more personalization on the key account management too. So also regarding newsletter, because you have the knowledge what we currently support them and what we can add as a top layer on that. So that's for sure will be something in the next months. For example, I was part as a judge at the Swiss Sales Championship, and there we had one participant for use, for example, for the cold call on AI. So it was really interesting to see that still a lot of people didn't realize within the first seconds that it's an AI. So I was quite surprised on that. But I think there is explicitly, if you talk about more complex product sales, we are not there yet. So I'm really curious about how this will change. Because for like support call centers, it's working well.
Mm-hmm. I've
So
seen this.
that's
Yeah.
something that we will also check out and look into where this will go.
Lars, your hypothesis?
Yeah, on my side, I see a really big demand for follow-up automation and efficient, especially like cost and time efficient sales automation in terms of outbound and having that signal based. So I will definitely recommend and implement Ample Market for a bigger number of early stage startups that have limited resources and want to have like straight to the point impact. And then what I also see for 2026 is that building your own AI agents, that will definitely be a topic that startups will look into sooner or later. So I also joined the board recently, advisory board for BeyondBot AI, and that's a platform where you can build your own AI agent. And this can really have so many use cases in so many different industries. So this will be a big topic in 2026. And for example, the Startup Nights in Winter Tour, which just happened 2 weeks ago, they also used an AI agent within like 24 hours they implemented. And I think they had good results. So these are like, let's say, the two topics. One more concrete, like already able to set it up right now. The other topic more like a bit, that's what we will look into and where the focus will shift, probably also of the LinkedIn bubble.
Yeah. And picking up the agents, it's one of my recent investments where I also invested into
Very cool.
agents tackling the enterprise space and then the entire customer's life cycle in starting with account research, supporting outreach, account executives until the very end in boosting expansion. So I'm super excited what the guys are doing there. So it's
Let's see.
So
Awesome.
let's see who wins.
Keep us up to date about that too.
So it was great having you for another time. And we have a cliffhanger for potentially a third one. So either way, have a wonderful day. And thanks for taking the time again.
Awesome. You too.
Thank
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Really nice.
Bye, Björn.
Ciao.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Each week, I have the pleasure of engaging with exceptional founders, industry experts, and investors to discuss the ups and downs of early stage growth. I primarily focus on B2B and Gen AI startups progressing from 1 million to 10 million ARR. We share valuable lessons and best practices for scaling quickly and efficiently. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to give me a feedback on LinkedIn or give it a thumbs up. I can't wait to see you in the next one.